All right, we're here with Coach Brian Phillips, boys soccer. Coach Phillips, early in the season still, but you've got a few games in your butt. I think you're starting to get a feel for what this team can be and also what this team needs to work on. So just can you talk about in this early phase of the season what you've been most pleased with, but also the areas that you plan as an experienced head coach to address over the course of the next several weeks?
Yeah, I think we've got some really good team camaraderie, and we've got a great balance between young players and older players, more experienced players, and they're coming together really well. And I think we just have to develop a little more belief in ourselves, and if we can do that, we're going to be very successful. We have a good level of technical skill, and we have some pretty good soccer IQ, so it's just going to be blending all the pieces together. It's on the coaching staff to figure out exactly how we put each player where we get the best out of them, and then by doing that get the best out of the group effort. But they're very supportive of each other. I love the give and take they have amongst themselves. It's a positive, healthy camaraderie, and I think we're going to be able to build off that a great deal.
Awesome. So as one of the certainly deans of the overall Trinity coaching staff who's been here for a while, a few years or so, What are some things that you try to model as one of our most tenured head coaches? We talked to a few minutes ago to a brand new head coach. Just what are some attributes that you really look to set an example for the coaching staff as kind of our own team within the wider school athletic program?
I really want us to, we stress sportsmanship a great deal. In fact, we just came to a meeting where we talked a little bit more about sportsmanship. I think that competition is so hard and challenging, and you want to win, but can you do it in quote unquote the right way? But that really matters, and that we're echoing the values that the school has, that we respect ourselves individually, but also the group as a team, and our families and the school community as a whole. Those, I think, are probably the bedrocks that we try to build on every single day, and then go out and compete hard within our sort of team slogan for the year. Resilience and effort are two key words. Things aren't always going to go your way. I think we really want to make sure that the players' experience of competition does in fact bring out all the cliches you hear about sports, that it's not always going to go your way. Can you bounce back? Because if you do those things and you give 100% effort all the time, you're going to find your life as a whole is going to be a lot more enjoyable and something you're proud of when you get to be my age and become the dean of things.
You're the dean of several things, Coach. Two more. One of the things that's really cool about the soccer program and some of our alums that may be watching TESPN is in the summer pickup, we have sometimes literally dozens of alums that come back and play with the current players. Can you just speak to how that culture affects the current players, but also just how you view Trinity soccer as something that's not just a 2 or 3 or 4 year commitment on the varsity, but something that they're part of even after they have a diploma?
Yeah, there's a lot, the word family gets tossed around a lot, but I think that's what we're trying to build consistently. We want kids to come back when they're not kids anymore and feel like they're welcome in here, because it's good for them and makes them appreciate the time they had here, but also it gives the younger players people to look up to. We talk about role models in education all the time. The best role models are the people that you see have been yours and been right there in front of you before, and somebody you want to emulate and get to. And so I think that's what we're aiming for.
Yeah, and I think that's been a theme really for all the programs we've talked to, is sort of the theme of once a Titan, always a Titan, and having that culture where folks are welcome back and still feel part of the program. All right, the last one, I'm not going to say how many years you've been the head coach, but it's bridges a millennium. What?
This guy's subtle. Don't let me fool you.
What gets you at the beginning of a season in August when it's time to gear up and go through the preseason process? What is it that motivates you just year in and year out to continue to pour your heart and soul into it? Even now, as you have a son playing in college, it'd be easy to say, I'm just going to go watch him play. Like, what is it that just drives you to continue to pour your heart and soul into this program?
I just 100% love working with young men. That's really what it comes down to. I like watching them grow through the sport. And so for me, it's really two parts. It's helping young men grow up and become ready to be young adults and feel like they've learned values. And also, I love the sport and I love sharing with it and participating in it. Those two things are what get me going every single summer and all season long.
All right, we are here with J.T. Morris, senior soccer player, senior defensive player. J.T., you've been here at Trinity Episcopal for 5 years, finally a senior now. Just can you talk about what it feels like to finally be, several months from graduation and be a leader on the soccer team, and just what that entails in your mind?
It feels good. I've been here since 8th grade, looking up to the varsity players, being on JV and seeing how they were. And then I made it to the varsity in 10th grade, and then COVID took a little bit out of it, but now I'm glad to get back into it.
So early in the season still, just played a couple of games. What do you think this team's strengths are in this early part of the season? And then after that, if you could also address like the areas, I guess, that you think the team needs to get better in.
I think we're really good individually, but we just need to work together on communication, passing, and all the little things, and I think we'll do really well this season.
And then when you walk off the field a couple months from now, after your last game, and take off that number 9 uniform for the final time, for you, what would you consider a successful season for J.T. Morris and the Titan soccer team?
Well, I'd personally like to win a state championship, but I think making the team better, making individual people better, and making an impact on the younger players would be a successful season for me.
That's awesome. One more question for you, JT. You talk about making an impact. As a leader, how would you describe your leadership style? This team has several freshmen, some sophomores. I mean, there is some experience, but still, particularly with not really getting a full season last year, probably most of the team has never really had a full varsity season. So what is your style going to be to bring the best out of this talented group as you described it?
We don't have just a few captains. We have a big leadership group, so I think that all of us working together to help the younger kids out is the way to go.
All right, thanks a lot, JT. Actually, I'm going to ask you one more kind of fun one just on the way out, because knowing you as long as I have, I think you've mentioned you don't actually watch a lot of soccer, but do you have a favorite professional soccer player or team that you might watch every once in a while?
I do not, no.
Can you name a professional soccer player?
Messi.
Hey, Messi. All right, that works. All right, thanks, JT. Appreciate the time, man. Good luck this season.
Thank you.